everything people believe about where the fuck they are and what this all is a lie. The nuclear bombs don't actually exist.
Refrigerated cooling systems are part of a deep state plot to molest children across the globe.
I think eating a fucking pizza is dangerous. When JFK was assassinated, the Zapruder film, that was actually like all fake. Potato chips are poison. Yeah, outer space is fake.
Okay, so
that's
you think that our missile control negotiations were all fake?
Yeah. Do you know how a magnet works? Black holes actually do exist, but they're not these like black holes in space. So basically what a magnet is like a converter for where this magnetic field is coming from. So a little rock, like a fridge magnet that you have or whatever, any type of magnet, it's a converter to another dimension where the magnetic field comes out of. This is the only way it can work. It's the only way it makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense.
How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good.
Do I call you Travis, or do you like to be referred to as something else?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, wonderful. How you doing today, Travis?
Pretty good.
Is that Norm Macdonald as your profile image?
Yeah.
Did you, you're a big fan of his comedy?
Yeah.
You ever read his book by chance? He wrote a autobiography. I really highly recommend it. If when you get a chance, I do suggest just getting it online. It's like $15 right now. It's really cheap. But
yeah, I'll probably read that.
It's good. It's good. It kind of screws with you, but I mean that's Norm Macdonald. Anyway,
well, yeah.
I wanna talk to you about something because you talked to Kat Katarana about flat Earth. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know much about flat Earth. Right? I look down. Earth is flat. Must be flat to me. Right? But there's something else you said. You had a theory about Kyle Rittenhouse and the Kyle Rittenhouse trial that was very interesting to me, and I wanted to hear more about that. Could you explain your what you believe about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial?
Yeah. I mean, he got interviewed before that whole thing happened. Which the probability of that is just insane. Then, you know, when you look into the whole thing, like I could send you the clips and shit, but there's part of the trial where the prosecutor walks up and his foot literally glitches through the floor.
Glitches?
Yeah, like it's like I have to find it, but it's like I'll send it. But
what do you think that shows? What do you believe about the trial?
It's a green screen. It's a green screen. The whole thing's fake.
You believe
it's just bullshit. It's like space. They're just like faking the whole thing.
So do you believe that the shooting was fake as well?
Yeah.
Or so you believe the shooting and the trial,
the whole thing is fake,
was both faked? That it's
everything about it is fake,
contrived.
Yep.
Everything. Okay.
Yep.
So the first thing I want to ask you is who is interested in this being fake? Like why fake it?
I don't know. Why lie about the Earth being a ball in a vacuum?
Well, I don't really.
You have to ask them.
I don't really believe that either. But I mean, who is them in the Kyle Rittenhouse case? Like, why? I just don't see a motive here. That's all.
Yeah, he's a Freemason. He does the hidden hand Freemason sign, which basically scrubbed it off the internet. You can't even find it anymore.
So
I could get it because I know people who have it, but
I'd be interested in seeing it.
Yeah. Where do I put? Okay.
By the way, I know Freemasons. They seem like a lovely group of people.
Right. Well, the real Freemasonry, like Freemasons, a secret group.
My school counselor was a Freemason.
Right. Well, the low-level Freemasons exist to basically hide the real group, which the real group is like the highest level Freemasons. But, you know, low-level Freemasons will tell you like, oh, what, we just drink and we just, you know, have fun and hang out. And it's not really, there's nothing going on, but they're just low-level Freemasons who've been in it, and they're not even like, they're just low-level. Like they don't.
So is Kyle Rittenhouse a low-level or high-level Freemason?
High level.
How do you know
He's been in it his whole life.
He's been in Freemasonry his whole life?
This. Yeah, I don't know if I could say this.
Is there like an induction form or something? Like when he was 5, was he like sacrificing something, or like what was he?
It's funny that you say that because you know that event that I'm not gonna say it, but that event that Alex Jones got in trouble for saying was fake. You know what I'm talking about?
Sandy Hook.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Do you believe that's fake as well?
I'm not gonna get into that.
Ooh.
But one of the children who died
Yeah.
looked an awful
Tragically.
lot like he looked a whole lot like a young Kyle Rittenhouse. Little Noah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And
this is what they do. These psyops that they use to basically manipulate the public.
Mhm.
They have actors from these secret societies, which basically the people who run the world, who like print money and have complete control over everything. What you would do, because I thought about this a long time, and I was like, why is there? Because if you think about it, if you can print money, right? It's like, why is there not like a roller coaster literally going through my street? Like, I know it sounds stupid, but it's like, why isn't there crazy shit all over the place if there's people who can print money?
Yeah, I never thought
Like,
about
if there's
it
people
that
who print
way.
money have infinite power, there should be like just weird shit all over the place.
Well, it's
but there isn't.
What about inflation though? But also, let's
Well,
bring
this is the point. This is the point.
Uh-huh.
What they do, these people who print money, they fund and control secret societies and like cults and shit like that. That's what they do. But they don't do like other shit that's in the public. They do like secret. They basically control that.
Let's reel it in. You said a few things, right? So I just want to like drag it in a bit, and we can talk about a few things first. Okay. So the first thing I would ask about is so the Sandy Hook claim. How do you know that this child who looks like a young Kyle Rittenhouse that was killed in the Sandy Hook shooting, which I assume you don't think even anyone died really, but who was killed in the Sandy Hook shooting, how do you know that that is Kyle Rittenhouse? There's over 7 billion people on the planet. People are bound to look alike. I'm sure if I tried hard enough this street, I could find you 10 children who look like a young me.
Well, I don't know about that.
Morally corrupt.
Do you really don't think
so?
so?
Kids, I don't know. Well, what? Look,
Burns is an immoral, morally corrupt.
Can we just go to the end game? Because I know. Look,
well, I think the details
it's all going to
are
be
pretty,
crazy to you.
I think the details are pretty important, don't you?
Right, they are. But it's all going to be crazy until you really understand the highest level. So, like, once you know that the highest level for real is actually like they're actually lying to the entire world about some crazy shit. You're not gonna understand that like this stuff in the news is like manipulated.
Well,
you're gonna be like, well, why would they do that? Why would they?
Can you look at it from my perspective for a second, though? So, from my perspective, you just walked up to me and you just told me that oranges are not real, or you just told me that for me, something that I'm 100% sure is a real event that happened, right? And you're telling me no,
that's not. That's a false equivalence.
Let me finish. Please let me finish.
Oh, okay.
So, from my perspective, you've come to me and basically said, let me give you a better comparison, that World War II didn't happen. Right? For me, what I think is a 100% documented, proven event that happened, right? And you're telling me that didn't happen. And you're giving me evidence for that, right? And so I'm going to ask questions about that evidence because you're questioning my very foundation of what I believe to be reality, right? Which I assume is something that you can understand, right? If I came up to you and made wild claims like that, you coming to this like, well, let me tell you about the end game, right? Well, you can create narratives out of anything, right? There's a million narratives that can be created for a million different motivations, for a million different plots that could be created. For example, I could probably create to you a theory as to why Japanese bankers started the Iraq War. It could be very roundabout, but I could create motives there if I wanted to. So I think the evidence is what's most important here for you convincing anyone that Kyle Rittenhouse didn't kill anybody and the whole trial was faked. Right? So that's why I want to go by the evidence.
This is what people say, but then when I present you with evidence, you reject it.
Well, I just asked you.
I'll present you with evidence.
Well, yeah,
okay?
I just asked you about the child photographs. I'd like to see those. And you tell me how
I'll show you that.
You know that's Kyle Rittenhouse.
Well, I don't know it's him, but it's the same thing as
that's kind of a big allegation, though. If I say that because this is contingent on both Sandy Hook being fake and the Kyle Rittenhouse shooting being fake, and Kyle Rittenhouse being one of the Sandy Hook kids. It's like a conspiracy theory extended universe you're creating here.
Sure,
right?
sure. Okay, but tell me he doesn't look like him though when I show you this. But
well, I mean,
you want evidence. I understand.
Okay.
So let me ask you.
Okay.
Do you know what science is?
Immoral.
Do I know what science is?
Right.
I believe so. I believe like science is like you look at evidence and like test shit and like generally I'm not a scientist, but like it's when you test shit and you do science, and I have a general idea what science is. I'm not a scientist though. I don't pretend to be one either.
Okay. So
is an immoral, morally
basically,
corrupt,
science is the
bankrupt
study
man.
of the natural world through observation and experiment, and it's based on the scientific method. So anything that doesn't adhere to the scientific method is pseudoscience. So there's something called the second law of thermodynamics, which states that high pressure moves to low. So basically, if you have a box with air in it, it's talking about gas pressure, high pressure moves to low. If you have a box with air and you put it in a vacuum chamber, and then you take the lid off the box with the air in it, all the air in the box will fill the vacuum, even at sea level, and vacuum chambers are weaker than the vacuum of space is claimed to be.
That's very interesting.
Outer space is a violation of natural law.
Bankrupt man.
So outer space is fake. So I know you look at cartoons and think that's evidence, but outer space stands in violation of natural law.
Okay.
So outer space is fake.
Okay, so
that's
Can you tell me how outer space being fake has to do with Kyle Rittenhouse faking the
Okay, because every single the entire everything people believe about where the fuck they are and what this all is a lie. So they're lying about what our place in the universe and what the fuck this all is. So you think they can't lie about some little shit on the news?
I don't think it's little shit, because when there's multiple witnesses, the amount of people you need to get involved to cover it up and get vows of silence and
this is what people say about space. You're saying the same stuff.
Well,
about a violation of natural law.
Well, yeah, but I also believe space is real, right?
Okay, but that's a religious belief that stands in violation of natural law.
Okay,
so you're actually not interested.
What you're doing right now is you're pivoting, right? Because I asked you questions about Kyle Rittenhouse.
No, we can get into it.
Let's stop talking about space, because I don't care that much about space. Okay,
but here's the problem, though. What you're saying is,
I'm telling you,
want to get to
these two things are not related that much. You can explain to if Kyle Rittenhouse shooting and everything else was fake. You can explain to me how it was fake without bringing up outer space, I assume, right?
Okay, but here's the problem, though. So you're claiming you want to get to the bottom of it.
Well, yes.
But I'm trying to tell you the biggest lie out of everything.
Well, no.
And you don't want to hear it.
But I'm not interested in. Well, for example, let's say I was like, let's say I bring you bring me into a room and under the auspices that I'm going to talk to you about the Mexican-American War, right? And then I'm like, okay, but let's talk about World War II. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I guess these things have somewhat related because America was involved in it and America fought the Mexican-American War. But I feel like you can explain to me the Mexican-American War without talking about Hitler, right? So this, to me, feels like I feel like you can explain to me while the Kyle Rittenhouse shooting was fake without telling me about outer space, because it feels like you're pivoting to an area I have no experience with. I know about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. I know about the Kyle Rittenhouse shooting, or at least a general amount of information about it. I don't know much about outer space, so I don't feel comfortable confirming or denying in this conversation whether space is real.
Right, but the thing is, because you don't understand the link. So what I'm trying to tell you is all the people who lie about going to space.
Can you send me that child photo, by the way? The Kyle Rittenhouse
I put it in I put both the video where the prosecutor's foot glitches through the floor and the child photo in the content and videos.
Content and videos, okay. So,
but the point is, what I'm trying to say is, the people who lie about going to space are Freemasons. Like Buzz Aldrin's a Freemason. All the astronauts are Freemasons. Kyle Rittenhouse is a Freemason. It's the same group.
Okay.
They're lying to everybody about, and by the way,
let's look at this. So, this person on the right looks like Kyle Rittenhouse, this person who died at Sandy Hook. And so this proves that Kyle Rittenhouse is this person?
No, it doesn't prove it, but because it's on the news, that doesn't prove that it's real. And the whole point
it
is
isn't just because it's
everything-
on the news, but there's also eyewitness testimony. There is
Sure.
evidence that
fake
was
that,
submitted to
though.
a court. You can fake a lot of things, but when a certain things stack up,
Yeah.
when a certain amount of things stack on top of each other, it gets more and more difficult to fake it. So what you're saying is that this child just looks like Kyle Rittenhouse. So this piece of evidence kind of
but
feels fallacious,
everything you're
doesn't it?
saying, though, like all this, it's just the same thing people say about a natural law violation.
Okay.
And did you look at the
I don't
video?
I don't really care what. Well, can we talk about this first?
The video is
we'll
pretty
get
weird.
We'll get to the video, but I just want to address
it's
this.
like 6 seconds.
So-
it's like a little clip.
So
Yeah,
the first thing I would need to believe for this to be real is that this is enough evidence to link these two people, which it really isn't, because it's just a kid, kind of looks like a little bit vaguely a younger version of Kyle Rittenhouse, right? That's the first thing. Do the ages even match up, by the way? Between victim Noah, when Noah died during the Sandy Hook shooting, and Kyle Rittenhouse? Let me ask you that. That's a basic question, right? Like if the ages.
I don't think they do, but again, you're just assuming that the information is true.
So the ages the ages don't even match up, though.
Yeah, but how do you know that any of that information is true, though? Like, how do you know how old Kyle Rittenhouse is, or how do you know how old that kid was?
So I need to believe that not only did this kid not die, and that the age that was advertised about Noah was wrong, and that he was a crisis actor, and that all the witnesses to Sandy Hook and all the survivors and all the police and all of them lied. But then on top of that, they then used the same actor to then put them in the national spotlight again, because they're really fucking stupid, but also very all-powerful, as Kyle Rittenhouse, to then do a fake shooting with more witnesses that they paid off, all of which basically have no CIA, NSA, or FBI ties, before then faking the court case. See, that's where you lose me. It's just out of reach for me.
Well,
that's why
that
this
happened
doesn't feel like
before,
evidence.
where people use the same crisis actors in different events and they get caught. Like,
I don't really believe
lady who
that,
was in Sandy Hook was in the Boston bombing. But
really,
but again, I know. Look, you can just talk about the details, but the point is you don't actually know any of this stuff.
I'm just trying to look at the evidence here, and this just feels very fallacious. I mean, I could probably, like, if I wanted to, I could probably, like, send you a picture. It's like, hey, that's a picture of you. You kind of actually look like me. I fucked your mom, and you're my son. And you can be like, wait, but there's like, there's so much other stuff. And what about this person who I think's my dad? And I'm like, no. That's just what they want you to think, right? It's like, you need more evidence than that, because the other thing is so much more likely and so much more obvious to everyone involved.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, it's basically the Alex Jones, Bill Hicks, like, argument. They actually do look a lot alike when you look at them when,
okay.
Well, anyways,
and I could say, like, people could say I'm the son of Jim Morrison because I've got long, like, curly hair and I've got a strong jawline. It doesn't mean I'm the son of Jim Morrison.
Okay. So you believe the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing? Like, did you see his interview with Tucker Carlson?
I saw a decent amount of it, yes.
Okay, so did you see the part where he like messes up basically? And it sounds like he's like reading off a script and like he like got his words wrong and he like goes back and then he like got it wrong again and then like he, like messed up. Did you see that part?
No, could you send it to me?
Well, I don't actually. You should have told me you wanted to talk about the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. I would have got the evidence.
It's okay, but I mean, for me, if we look at Kyle, this is somebody who's not very media trained, who was shoved into the national spotlight at the age of 17, or maybe a million. Who knows if this is all fake? What age he really is? Who knows what the deep state?
No, how do you know he's not media trained though?
Well, you're just saying, how do you know? But I have no evidence to know that he's classically media trained to the same degree as someone, say, like Tucker Carlson is, right? And this is somebody who's been, and I'm not going to believe something unless I have evidence for it, right? Just like how do you know I'm not fucking your mom, right?
Well, but you believe that he's not media trained, but you don't have evidence for that.
Well, you believe that I'm not fucking your mom. Do you have any evidence that I'm not?
Okay.
So you see the problem here? Like, if you don't have, you need affirmative evidence before you start believing
the real
these
problem.
things.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. saying, but the real problem is your blind trust in this information that's coming from like an event that's like been all over the mainstream news and all this stuff. It's like once you actually understand what's happening, which is why I brought up outer space and the biggest lie, you would not just blindly trust any of that stuff.
So again, like if I have presented a bunch of information, I'm going to look at the information and then believe most likely what is the most obvious outcome, right? And to me, the most obvious outcome is this 100% happened, right? And I have not really any evidence to the contrary, and that's why I'm asking you for evidence. And the evidence that we've so far looked at is these images. Now we can move on from this, but
did you see the
I would just
video?
want a commitment that this isn't really anything, right? This isn't really any. This almost feels like kind of like like why would they choose? This is an all-powerful organization, right? Who's controlling, you know, maybe it's the Freemasons, it's them, right? It's very vague, right? They would use the same actors from one nationally recognized story for something that's also going to be a nationally recognized story. Months later, the ages don't line up. They must have lied about that too. And there's really no paper trail or anything else connecting these two. But I'm supposed to sit here and believe that this person who died in Sandy Hook didn't die. That was also faked. And this is Kyle Rittenhouse.
Sure.
This feels like
Yeah.
very fallacious.
I understand. Can you play the clip?
Okay.
Did you watch that?
So we're both agree to move on from this then.
Well, this is the Rittenhouse thing still.
Well, no, I want to
clip.
move on from this piece of evidence, though. Noah,
Oh,
Sandy Hook
yeah.
evidence.
Yeah, sure. It doesn't. It's not 100% proof. I'm not saying
It's
that.
really nothing, right? Like all you're saying is these two people look alike.
Well,
like
you're saying that now, but well, okay, just sure.
you're saying I'm saying that now, but the problem is if you give me a bunch of very loose evidence that doesn't prove much, you can connect them all together to try to make a case. But I could do that with anything, right? Like, can you tell me what state you live in?
California.
California. Did you know, actually, a few months ago, I was in California? The pieces are coming together to prove that I fucked your mom.
Okay, I mean, that's just a piece of circumstantial.
There's a piece of
evidence,
circumstantial
yeah,
evidence,
it's not
right?
proof. This is what you're saying. You're saying it's just circumstantial evidence. It's not 100% proof. I agree. So, can you play this this clip though?
Okay, we can move on from this then, and we'll play this clip. Can you send me the original link because I can't actually play this clip because it's like it's in Discord.
Yeah. Someone sent me. Fuck. I have to find it.
Yeah, because I want to see because first things first, right? You could be sending me like something that's edited from the original footage, right? Like I would just want to see like the original footage.
Yeah, it's in the original footage.
Yeah. By the way, if we want to look at statistics, 91% of my chat agrees that I impregnated your mother. So this is the evidence stacking up.
I mean, consensus isn't evidence, but okay.
I mean statistics.
Well, yeah, that's just consensus. That's not evidence. 90% of the people think the Earth is a ball too.
Yeah, it would. I mean, it is.
No, it's not.
Oh well, you beat me there. I didn't think about that one.
Do you know the size of the globe Earth?
Do I know the size of the globe Earth?
Yeah.
Probably like 100 feet.
Well, yeah, that's the point. Globers don't know. Do you know how fast the Earth spins at the equator?
Probably like 20 miles an hour.
Okay, wrong again.
Wow.
Could
have sworn I knew that one.
Yeah.
Do you know how big my dick is?
No.
Yeah, the evidence continues to stack. You don't know much of the details on whether I fucked your mom or not. Sorry. Okay, I'll stop with the mom. I'll stop with that. It's very rude of me.
I can't find the. I mean, if you'd want to just pull up the original video of the trial and then just look at. Yeah, you could just find where because it's pretty easy to find.
Can I
also the way the light
can I also say, do you how smart do you think this elite group that's doing this, whatever it is, do you know which group set this up? By the way, this Kyle Rittenhouse thing. Do you think it's a Freemason?
Well, he's a Freemason, the same as the astronauts.
So yeah, that's another thing. You said he was a Freemason. He was a Freemason from basically birth. Don't you have to be 18 to be a Freemason?
I don't know.
You don't know that? I feel like that's an integral piece of information.
Hold on. I'm going to find it right now. Give me a second.
Okay. Seems kind of important. Kind of important. The votes are closing for the mother thing. Ended at 177 votes for yes, 80%. Let's look at this. Be a Freemason. I wonder, can I become a Freemason? That'd be pretty fun.
Well, I mean, you could just play the clip, but you could just go to the actual video and just go to where, like, you can find where the sunlight is in the video. Just go there.
Where the sunlight is in the video.
Yeah, like you could just find like the actual like clip. It's in the video if you just like look at the surroundings.
Like in the video,
it's gonna be hard to find though.
So 6-second video you sent me.
Yeah, you can just play the clip. I mean, yeah.
Hey, someone's also sending me information on the Boston bombing. Oh, can we actually talk about that quick before we find it? I'll give you more time for that. But the Boston bombing thing, you sent me an image, which is this one, which is died in the shooting at Sandy Hook, but injured at a bombing at the Boston Marathon, right? And it's the same person as what's being alleged here, right? But you saying it's a crisis actor, I assume, yeah? The Sandy Hook principal.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this was like a cursory Google search. The woman pictured above is the late Dawn Lafferty Hochsprung. The school principal who was killed in the Sandy Hook shooting. In the right-hand panel, purportedly shows her picture being displayed on screen during an interview with someone named Donna about the Boston Marathon bombings. Some commentators have noted that the woman who stepped in as principal at Sandy Hook after Dawn Hochsprung's death was Donna Page, and theorized that the former was the Donna referenced during the pictured interview. Although at least one woman named Donna, who ran the marathon that day, did give media interviews about her experience, the only such reference we have seen that mentioned a surname identified interviewee as Donna Bruce, not Donna Page. A group of Newton parents, known as the Team Newton Strong, entered the Boston Marathon and ran 26 miles to honor 26 victims of the Sandy Hook shootings, so it's possible Dawn Hochsprung would have been mentioned if one or more of those team's member had been interviewed. So I don't think they're saying that this person died, or there's any. I don't think they're saying that. Like, I don't like. What are they? What is this here? What are you trying to say this is? This is the same.
What is your point? They're not saying she what?
I'm saying that this person wasn't injured. This isn't the same person. I mean, this is the same person, but this person wasn't injured there. This happens quite frequently.
Witness testimony, right? I mean, it's just witness testimony. But again, I don't want to get into the Sandy Hook thing. Like, we could not get into that.
Can I ask you why?
I don't feel like
Sandy Hook
was fake. So, what?
Wait, you don't feel like it was fake?
No, I don't feel like saying it was fake and getting into that.
Well, I mean, everybody already knows you think it's fake, right? From how you've talked about it.
No.
I mean, you've already presented information that would be dependent upon it being fake with the Noah thing, right?
No, it's just. I mean, maybe they just, who knows? I don't know. Sandy Hook was real. I don't feel like getting into that.
So then if Sandy Hook was real, then the Noah thing, you just
sure we could dismiss that piece of evidence. Oh, it's bullshit. Sure.
Okay.
And the other one, the thing I just sent to you, that's also bullshit.
Do you not? Can I ask you? And this question might sound mean, but do you have strength in your convictions?
Yeah, I do. I don't want to get assassinated, though.
Assassinated?
Yeah, or I don't want them to turn off my credits when they introduce this new digital currency and social credit score.
Do you think well, if they're gonna assassinate you, they're already gonna do it, right? Because they already know now that you think Sandy Hook was fake, right?
Well, it's not. Yeah, it's not about that. It's just how like it's nuanced. Okay, it's nuanced. You can. I'm not saying it's fake. Okay, it's real. Sandy Hook's real. Look, um, Kyle Rittenhouse is a Freemason. I'm trying to find the clip where he does the hidden hand, but it's literally impossible to find. But he literally does a Freemason hand sign.
Okay.
Here, damn it. My guys are sending me. Well, anyways, fucking Freemasons. But Fauci did the same thing too. He did the hidden hand. But the Rittenhouse thing, I don't even really feel like getting into that. You just believe it just because you believe like everything. So
wait.
If you want to go to the root of all of it,
is this what you're talking about? The hand in the jacket thing?
Did you post it?
Is this it? What you mean? Like this?
Let me see.
I'm showing it on stream right now. This thing?
Oh wait, let me look.
Is this what you're saying?
Yeah, it's that, but it's pretty much that.
Okay.
It's the hidden hand.
So
yeah.
I have done this while just walking around because it's comfortable.
Or
I'll put my hand in my coat pocket because I need to take something out. Like there's a million ways you could get a picture of somebody doing this.
Totally. But
wait, what do you mean totally? Video, just yes. Yes.
Yeah, they do that all the time. When you actually watch the video though, which I don't have it because you should have told me you wanted to do the Rittenhouse thing. I would have had all this prepared, but when you watch the video of Rittenhouse, and the same thing with Fauci too, when you watch the video of them do the hidden hand, it's not something that looks natural. I'm telling you, I've seen it with my own eyes. Okay. It's not something that they just do just because they're just putting their hand in their jacket just because they're getting something out of it.
All I had to do was Google it, and here it is. This right here, is this it?
Hold on, I'm not looking at the stream. Can you put it in the Discord? Because
okay, I'm pretty sure this is it because calling it out directly. I'll put it in the content videos. Is that what you're referring to?
Hold on.
Again, and at this point, I think he might be 18, so he could be a Freemason. But you can't be a Freemason until you're an adult. And you said he was engaged in Freemasonry since his youth, so, like, was he part of the secret Freemason youth program?
I mean, probably.
Well, what do you mean, probably?
He's probably
do you know that exists?
It's not just. Well, it's not just normal Freemasonry. Like, that's the thing. That's the whole point. It's not just like you can become a Freemason. Anybody can just become a Freemason. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
anyone can become
the highest level, which is like a small group. But yes. So if you actually watch the video of that, it's not normal. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at this right now, and I'm gonna be honest. There's a million different explanations as to why he.
I know. Yeah.
Well, no, it's just this is like it's just.
I get it. I get what you're gonna say. Like, I totally understand your skepticism for some reason of this, but you're not skeptic.
Wait, you mean for some reason?
Yes, because the whole point is you're not skeptical when it comes to the other side. Meaning you're not skeptical about unverifiable information coming from the government, but you're skeptical about
I could just ask
conspiracy theories.
Well, it's not unverifiable information. Like there's bodies, there's photographs, there's video, there's eyewitness reports.
Just like space, right?
There's eyewitness reports. Okay, there's all these different things that would need to be.
That's what people say about outer space too.
But you're saying that to me as if I don't believe in outer space as well.
Okay.
That means nothing to me.
If a vacuum of outer space,
I can't debate outer space with you because I know next to nothing about it. That's why
you don't have to know anything about it. There's literally nothing to, like, it's not, and you don't know anything about your own claims though. This is the point. You don't even know anything about what you believe about the Earth. You don't even know the size of the globe Earth. You don't know how fast it spins. You don't know how far away the sun is. You don't know how far away the atmosphere is. You don't know any of that. So you don't know any of that.
Travis, I don't believe electricity is real.
Wow.
I believe it's
Okay.
bullshit. I believe it's all made up. By
Like electrons?
Yes,
Like,
I
you don't
believe
in electrons?
Yeah, I don't believe in electrons. Yeah.
Well, Nikola Tesla didn't either, so you're probably right, honestly. Like, electricity probably isn't an electron.
So you
but,
don't believe
know.
it? Do you don't believe in electricity?
No, electricity isn't a little subatomic particle. It's not an electron. It's electricity, but it's not this little cartoon ball. Same thing as like
I don't.
yeah.
Okay.
I know. Yeah, it's Nikola Tesla said the same thing. He said he didn't believe electricity was an electron because when you look into the whole atomic theory, like atoms are matter is composed of atoms and all this stuff. Yeah, it's just a theory, and they have
So you believe? But you believe in electricity?
Look, well, I don't believe in it. I experience it.
You experience it. Well, what if I
that's
told
not a
you what
belief.
you think you're experiencing electricity, but isn't really electricity?
So my senses are wrong?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
How do you know that?
See, this is where I input a bunch of scientific mumbo jumbo, and you're like, well, I don't really understand any of that, Dylan. And then I'm just like, okay, well, see, you're not questioning. Do you see the problem here?
No.
Okay.
You didn't make an argument. Look,
Okay.
I'm trying to guide you through this easily, but you're trying to take the difficult route for some reason. Like we're about to get into the atomic theory.
Well, I'm not. Bullshit. I don't want to talk about space. Okay, I wanted to talk about this. If you don't want to talk about this, we can end it here.
Okay, but if you don't want to talk about space,
because I don't care. Why? I'm not an astronaut. I'm not a scientific streamer. Okay, as far as I know, you got to talk to my girlfriend for like a good amount of time about space. I would have thought you got that out of your system.
I mean, okay, but look, space isn't really a science thing. It's just like it's just.
It isn't a science.
If you don't care about outer space being fake, then you actually don't care about the Rittenhouse thing. What? Because the truth is the truth. So if you don't care about the truth at the highest level, then why are you trying to argue details of something at the way lower level?
What do you mean? Any sense. If I asked you, like, what do you think about the about the truth behind the Mexican-American War, and you're like, I don't really. It's just not something that interests me. And you're like, then you don't care about the truth behind everything else. Like that feels fallacious. That's what do you mean?
I understand what you're saying. I understand, but you know the title is a wild conspiracy theorist. I'm trying to give you the deepest, highest level conspiracy, the real shit. It's the real highest level truth.
Okay,
but you're trying to
I don't want to because I want to talk about this, and I'm not interested in space. And it sounds like you don't have a lot of evidence for the Rittenhouse thing, right? And therefore, you can't really say this.
But I mean, you should have told me that you wanted to talk about Rittenhouse. So I could have had all this stuff, but
okay.
I mean, the thing is, like, I debate flat Earth a lot, pretty much.
Yes,
like pretty much.
I can tell.
Because again, the reason why I do that is because it's the highest level truth. So the people who want to talk about conspiracy theories, if you don't want to talk about the highest level one, you're just talking shit.
Okay.
Like, you want to talk about details about some low level bullshit, but I'm trying to talk about the highest level one.
What do you think about our missile control treaties with China during the Cold War when it comes to, like, you know, like the Reagan administration, the Carter administration, and the Clinton administration?
I don't know. I actually don't know. That's pretty interesting because, yeah, it's like, this is the thing. All this shit goes so deep.
The thing is,
we could end it with this one topic.
No,
you don't want to talk about it.
Listen to me. Let's say I dragged you into this conversation about missile control, and I'm like, we can't talk about anything else unless we talk about missile control. Now, I would assume you don't know much about America and China's missile control negotiations and how China, like, tried to, like, dodge agreements on missile control and how complicated it was when it comes to their deals with Pakistan and Iraq and the different type of missile models they were able to sell and, like, trying to, like, tweak the agreement. Like, you probably don't know much about that. Hell, even I don't know a lot about that. But if I started saying, if I wanted to talk about anything else, like, we cannot talk about anything. We can't talk about your flat earth stuff until we talk about missile control. You'd be like, well, no, that's ridiculous. Right. Why?
But no, because, again, flat earth, like what you just brought up, flat earth ends that subject we just said, because
flat earth
America
ends
and China, exactly.
Wow.
How does it do? Yeah, America and China both signed a treaty, the Antarctic Treaty, saying you can't go to Antarctica, and not just America and China. Every major nation, about 50 nations, the whole UN, everyone's saying
what does
you can't
Antarctica have to do with
militarize.
what does Antarctica
Yeah.
have to do with missile control?
Well, the thing is, they agree. The whole thing where they're pretending to not agree on this missile shit,
Pretending to
it's
not
actually
agree.
bullshit.
You think
What?
so? You think that our missile control negotiations were all fake?
Yes.
So we had
because
fake
they
negotiations in private that were later brought to the public through Freedom of Information requests, and all of the traveling and all of that,
Yes.
which there is documented evidence of, was all faked. And so
Yes.
China and America actually agree on everything, and this is all
right.
fake.
Because they agree that you can't. Well, what it actually says, the Antarctic Treaty, you
have any evidence of that, by the way, of the missile control, all of that being fake?
Well, I'm about to bring it up. The Antarctic Treaty basically says, what it basically says, you can't go to Antarctica. Like, nobody can go there and do independent exploration. But what it really says is you can't militarize Antarctica. So every single nation agrees you can't militarize Antarctica.
Okay.
So this whole missile shit, how are they fighting about where to put missiles when they actually agree on, you can't militarize this super advantageous position?
Well, they would all agree not to militarize a super advantageous position because they don't want to heighten tensions over this area, and they know if any of their enemies get it, then they're going to have to rush spending and rush military.
Then why are they arguing?
Let me finish. Because they're willing to agree to some restraints, but not all restraints. This is like the same thing when it comes to nuclear arrangements, because it's in everybody's best interest for us all to not die in a giant fireball. But
that's another.
Let me
finish.
Let me finish. Well,
okay, go ahead.
But it is in China's interest to sell as many missiles as they can to a whole host of countries. But it was in America's interest during the Cold War to not have all these missiles sold to certain nations like Pakistan, right? Because we didn't want them to, number one, buy Chinese missiles, right? And number two, we didn't want to see an arms race in the Middle East. And therefore, there was conflicting interests that needed to be negotiated behind closed doors. And a lot of time, and the negotiations is covered like widely by like a lot of different authors,
right?
Like historians. Right. So I don't understand how them agreeing not to militarize Antarctica means that they can't agree. That means that since they agreed on this, they have to agree on everything else. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, what you said about nuclear bombs, like they'll agree on some things, but not everything. That's why they agreed to not militarize Antarctica. With the nuclear bomb thing. Do you know how nuclear bombs supposedly work?
Supposedly work.
Do you know what's required for a nuclear bomb explosion?
By the way, can we just say how much we're pivoting off? Why are you talking about any of this?
No, because
we can't talk about space.
Exactly,
by the way.
exactly. Because you don't understand, because it's the same thing. Look, the nuclear bomb thing, it requires splitting of an atom, which we went over earlier. How that's all a theory. When you look into it, and I know, this is gonna be so crazy. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But the nuclear bombs don't actually exist. So when they shut down Chernobyl and when they blow up Japan, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, what actually happened was with Chernobyl, they just there's this guy, Galen Windsor, who he was like a manager of a nuclear power plant, and he says it's all bullshit. He did like seminars eating like uranium, saying it's all bullshit. And when you look into it, the whole thing's a theory about how they're supposed to work.
Okay.
But
so I will
hold on.
I will do something for you. Actually, I am willing to have you come out to Maryland. I'll fly you out, and I will feed you uranium.
Well, I don't want to do it.
But I thought if it's fake, then why would that be a problem?
I mean, it probably wouldn't be, but I just don't feel like doing that. Okay. But again, look, the whole thing is with the nuclear bomb thing in Japan, they firebombed it, and then they just said it was nuclear bombs. They said it was atomic bombs.
Really?
In Chernobyl, they said there was a malfunction and all this stuff.
So why is it that the damage that we saw in Tokyo from firebombing so catastrophically different than the damage that we saw in Tokyo? I mean, in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Then
it wasn't, though. That's the thing. When you look into it, all the buildings were still standing. It was the same thing as the firebomb.
All
damage.
the buildings
Same
were
thing.
still standing.
The brick buildings were still standing, and you weren't allowed to report on it in the newspaper. This all like came out. The whole nuclear bomb thing is fake. I'm telling you. And when you look into the nuclear bomb thing, like why would they lie about that? When you look into it, they're like, oh, Iraq and Afghanistan, they're trying to build a nuclear bomb. We got to go in and stop them. It's a reason to go in and stop countries.
I'm looking at
world-ending.
I'm looking at these images of Hiroshima. That looks like a lot of collapsed buildings.
Yeah. Again.
And a few of them even look like they're made out of brick.
All right, let me just shut down the whole thing. Do you know how a magnet works? Do you know how a magnetic field is produced?
No, it feels like every time I corner you on something, you just pivot out of it, and you're doing it again.
No, because
you said all the buildings were left standing. What is this photo?
No.
What is this photo?
No, wood buildings got destroyed.
Oh, the wood buildings. Okay, a lot of the material
just because
I'm looking
you're
at.
showing destroyed buildings,
I'm looking at material.
Firebombs do the same damage.
Firebombs
do the same thing.
Do the same damage. Okay, so
yeah.
A lot of this doesn't look like wood. In fact, much of that looks like stone.
Okay. Firebombs do the same damage.
Firebombs do the same damage.
Look, do you know? Okay, with a magnet, right? A magnetic field is produced. Like, say you have like a fridge magnet or whatever. It's producing a magnetic field, right? Do you know how that works? Or like this is what they say. I'll just tell you what they say. They say that a magnetic field is produced by electrons. So, is a little magnet constantly shooting out electrons somehow? Can you tell me how that works?
I don't know how that works.
Like a rock is just producing.
Okay, I will fly out to California and I will bring the uranium, and then I'll feed it to you at your house. How about that? Will that work?
Hold on.
No. Can you answer that question first?
Do you know how nuclear power works?
If you don't believe it's real, then there's no problem for me to feed you uranium, right?
Do you know how?
I'll make it into a lasagna. Do you like lasagna? What's your favorite food?
Honestly, I don't know.
Any food. Choose a food.
A pizza.
Okay, I will put it into a pizza, and I will feed it to you.
That would be pretty good. I mean,
I will come to California. Will you agree to this?
No, I don't want to eat uranium.
Why not? It's not real.
Because it's not food.
It's not food. You don't think?
Yes, it's not, dude. I don't even eat like. Okay, you don't even.
Do you think it might be dangerous in some capacity to eat?
Well, it's not food, so I mean, I think eating like stuff that isn't like. I think eating a fucking pizza is dangerous, or eating a fucking. Yeah. Well, anyways, I'm super healthy. That's what I'm trying to say. Potato chips are poison. I don't eat potato chips.
Somebody give me this article. It's price locked.
So can I just say what I'm trying to say?
Sure.
Okay. So what they say is a magnet shoots out electrons somehow. Well, they don't actually say this. They just say a magnetic field is produced by electrons, but they don't actually say how it works because it actually doesn't work. Like, it doesn't make any sense. This is why people don't know how magnets work. Like, mainstream people, because
most people don't care.
Right. And they care about details of something that they can't even prove either side, like Rittenhouse. But
wait. No, we can prove it. I can prove it to you if you want.
Yeah, the video. I've seen it.
Okay, I can show you the video. I can show you photographs. I can personally bring eyewitness testimony. I could go get witnesses if you want.
I get it. I understand. Okay.
Yes, and all you've shown me so far is a photo of a child that is dead and has been dead since Sandy Hook, okay? And then the other piece of evidence you've shown me, which you believe is real, so you're not going to dispute that. And the other thing was him putting his hand in his coat. And that's the two pieces of evidence you showed me. The other piece of evidence you can't find the original footage for, which is his foot disappearing, which makes me suspicious that it might be edited. I don't know. I have no clue.
How could it be edited, though?
Like, how could it be? You don't think it's you don't like? Are you asking me how to edit film? I would you would, as a conspiracy theorist, I would assume you believe film could be edited quite a lot.
Yeah, you're right. You got me on that. But it actually is in the real video. So I mean, I know I used to have it. I don't know where it is, but Hey, by the way, this is just a side thing.
Uh huh.
Let's right after I say this, let's just go back to what we were saying.
Sure.
The JFK thing, when JFK was assassinated, the Zapruder film, uh, that was actually like all fake. Like it took them 10 years to put out the Zapruder film. And
Yeah, I
there was
killed
like a
him.
one frame. Yeah.
I did it.
Oh, you did?
I shot JFK.
No, he didn't die. That's the whole point.
No,
The
well,
footage was
I'm
all
telling you, he
fakes.
did because I shot him.
I don't know.
You have any evidence to disprove what I just said?
You have any evidence to prove it that you shot him?
Yeah.
Because I'm calling the cops if you did that shit.
One of my chatters in chat actually, I think, has evidence of it. And so, can somebody give me the photo of me shooting JFK?
Yeah. Well, anyways, back to what we were saying about magnets, please.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what Eric Dollard says. He was like a.
Oh wait, can we
You
talk
know-
about? Here's another thing. I'm sorry. How do you just explain the injuries that were very unique to the victims of Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Very different to the injuries you got from firebombing when it comes to radiation. I mean, those injuries were absolutely fucking horrific, right? I mean,
Okay, I mean, sure, but do you know how nuclear power works? Like like a nuclear power plant? Do you know what that does?
I know it makes energy.
Right. But do you know like how it works or no? Or no?
Like how much? Like what do you mean? Like,
Well, what they do, they basically take a radioactive rock, which is just a hot rock, and they just put it in water, and it makes the water boil, and it creates steam, and the steam rises, and then turns a turbine.
Okay.
So the whole nuclear power being dangerous. This is why the nuclear bomb thing is they like fabricated this whole thing.
So
because they're trying to say nuclear is dangerous.
So where do these
when in reality, it's clean
energy? Where did this Well, this doesn't look clean to me. Where did this injury come from? That I'm looking out on my screen right now.
Oh,
like
I'm not.
Well, any of these
take a look.
injuries? I mean, I could show you footage of any of these injuries.
Okay, but if you look at an explosion,
these do not match the injuries that come from firebombing. They are very unique to radiation poisoning. Or we could talk to any of the doctors that had to treat. Well, most of them are dead, but we have interviews from them of the doctors who had to treat people who were injured from the nuclear bombings, who talked about the horrors of what they saw the Japanese people felt from those bombs as they slowly rotted from the inside out and died, and there was nothing they could do to treat them. But there's different because the Japanese people had faced firebombing for about a year up to that point as Tokyo was firebombed. The doctors knew how to treat a lot of firebombing injuries. They did not know how to treat these horrific injuries. So how do you explain that?
I'm looking at this image you're showing. There's buildings standing.
And
in this image,
there's no idea. Number one, wait. Do you believe that atomic bombs doesn't just vaporize the entire city and all buildings? That's how atomic bombs work.
Okay. So it works the same like a firebomb, right?
It does not work. You're dodging my question. You're dodging. I can see it. I can see the lack of conviction as you dodge. What's the question? You're dodging. My question, how do you explain the injuries of the Japanese people? How do you explain those injuries, which are distinctly different from firebombing injuries?
How are they distinctly different?
When it comes to radiation poisoning.
Right. Well,
the sickness. The sickness you get, you don't get that sickness from firebombing.
What are you talking about? Like, is there a specific case that you're talking about?
You're asking me to explain radiation poisoning. Okay, I'll bring up a video on radiation poisoning for you. You need me to.
You mean like electromagnetic frequencies, like Wi-Fi? Or are you talking about something else?
Like a bomb. Radiation, bomb. Nuclear. Do you not know?
Okay, but do you know like radiation is? You could just say that's heat.
Bomb.
So what are you talking about?
Injuries. So you think that they got sick from the heat?
Who got sick? What are you talking about?
The victims of the Nagasaki and Hiroshima bombings.
People live there today, right?
And you're dodging again.
So you're asserting dodging that people got sick with no proof, and they actually didn't.
You're saying that nobody got sick.
No, people get sick, but it's not because of some nuclear bomb. Like people get sick all the time, and it's because of generally lack of nutrition, and whatever poisons are in the environment. But look, the nuclear bomb thing, Jesus Christ. Can we get to the core of it?
Wait. You brought up the nuclear bomb thing. You can't get angry now that I have questions.
I'm trying to get right to the root of it, please. So
okay. So I can't show a lot of these injuries because they're too literally horrific, as people's like backs are being peeled off from like their body slowly rotting and stuff. But
it's just fire bombs. Yeah.
This explain to me how the holy shit. I don't think I could show any of these. Oh my fucking God.
I mean yeah. I mean, but the thing is, it's like, how can you tell the difference between a regular bomb and a nuclear bomb? Just because
you can tell from the sickness and the like injuries that people get are different. The loss of hair, for example, is different. Because if let's say you lost hair from firebombing, right? Then you lose it from the heat, right? You lose hair, it burns off. The nuke would drop, you wouldn't lose your hair, and you would later lose your hair, and that came from the radiation.
Okay, but how do people live there today, though?
You're not answering what I just put forward to you.
I am, because it's supposed to be irradiated for like 1,000 years.
How do you explain the injury I'm just talking about right now?
Missing hair?
Yes. How do you explain that?
Is there like an image or something of that?
Are you asking me to show you? You want me to show you an image of somebody losing their hair?
Well, I mean, you're kind of just like asserting something that happened, but it's like it could be anything, really.
I'm talking about testimony from the
this
doctors
isn't good
who were
proof
there.
for nuclear bombs. I'm just saying, like a guy lost his hair. I mean,
this is good proof actually, because these are injuries that correlate with radiation poisoning and radiation.
Okay, but just correlation doesn't equal causation. Just because you could say like,
okay,
it looks like this
magically,
is what my imagination.
magically, a bunch of people from Nagasaki and Hiroshima just so happened after the bomb was dropped to start losing their hair.
Who?
The Japanese people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
I never saw that. I never saw people with losing their hair.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it directly either because I wasn't there. Of course you didn't see it. You fucking Jesus Christ.
I mean, people can lose their hair without getting irradiated too. I mean, I'm just saying, it's not good proof for. Well, anyways, what I'm trying to say.
I'll send you the testimony. Oh, there you go.
Okay, but with the magnets, can we just get to this, please? Okay. So, this is what Eric Dollard says. Eric Dollard, he's like a super genius who recreated a bunch of Nikola Tesla's experiments and worked for the government all these times. And anyways, this is what he says, and this is what a bunch of people say about magnets, and Ken Wheeler and a bunch of people who study magnetism and quantum physics and the atomic theory and all this stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So, in order for a magnet to it doesn't make sense for a little rock to just be producing electrons constantly. It doesn't make any sense. But what does make sense, and this is what you can literally see it on video. You can see magnets and this is the black holes actually do exist, but they're not these black holes in space. So basically, what a magnet is like a converter for where this magnetic field is coming from. So a little rock, like a fridge magnet that you have or whatever, any type of magnet, it's not a little rock that's constantly producing energy. It's a converter to basically another dimension where the magnetic field comes out of. This is the only way it can work. It's the only way it makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense. So this whole notion of subatomic particles and all this stuff basically doesn't work. Because I could show you all this stuff. I could show you video of a black hole magnet and all this stuff.
I'm telling you, nobody understands what you're saying right now.
Okay, so when an electric field or an electric current moves through something, called permanent phenomena.
Yeah. But
it'll some of the energy gets converted to heat, then some of the energy gets converted to a magnetic field. So basically, what's happening is a little a magnet that you have, any magnet really, is basically a black hole that you can't see. You can't see it, but it's actually a black hole that is it's basically like a gateway. This little rock is like a gateway to wherever the magnetic field comes from. Mm-hmm. So this is this basically contradicts the whole atomic theory and this notion that matter is composed of atoms.
Uh-huh.
So basically, the foundation for how nuclear bombs exist, which is based on splitting an atom.
Uh-huh.
Which, by the way, the dude Oppenheimer who said, "I've become death, destroyer of worlds." If you actually go and watch that video, he looks. I'm just saying, he looks like a bad actor. Like he literally looks.
Everyone
like
looks
he's
like
just
an
saying,
actor to you.
like a
So I
script.
everyone looks like an actor to you.
No, not everybody. I actually believed the whole Rittenhouse thing, but
You believe it now.
no. I believed it originally, but after looking into it, it's like, oh, it's just another one of those things they do where they just
Because you were like, I mean, he put his hand in his pocket. Look at this dead kid. I mean, it's obvious.
right. Well, I mean, you don't want to talk about space being fake.
Well, because I don't. Because I don't. Well, no. I was talking to you about Freemasonry, and you didn't know basic facts about Freemasonry. Like you have to be 18 to be a Freemason. You didn't even know that.
Sure, but you can know Freemasons before you're 18, and then when you're 18, you just get you can just know.
So
people
you think he was
then...
basically just throwing up like Freemason gang signs and be like, "Hey boys, I'm coming, boys." You think he was just?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Well, no,
he was a young.
By the way,
yeah.
Back to this. Why do cancer patients lose their hair?
Because they're getting irradiated by chemotherapy.
Huh. So isn't it kind of strange that we had large reports of people after the atomic bombs were dropped losing their hair days after?
Maybe. But
it's almost like it's injuries that specific.
Experience?
What's
you know what
that?
else they experience?
What's that? Cancer?
Loss of taste and smell.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is caused by radiation.
Okay.
So, do you want to talk about?
Was that supposed to prove
radiation?
Something?
Look.
By the way, vomiting is not something that is a symptom you have with firebombing. Diarrhea, not either. Fever, is not something either. Birth defects, I don't hear about how firebombings cause birth defects. These are all things that
other chemicals and stuff cause all of those things, and firebombing causes high amounts of stress, I imagine, which basically makes you sick.
But
stress.
All these things, do you think that these things were that all these things just came from the stress of firebombing? Even though these were certain injuries that the doctors at the time were saying were not the same injuries they were seeing from firebombs.
Right.
Unless you think the Japanese doctors, part of a rival empire besides the United States, were in on it. They were in on it with the Americans, even though they were fighting a war against the Americans.
Yeah, and they agree on the Antarctic Treaty. Look, what you're saying, you're just hearing from one side, and you're not actually hearing from the other side. Fundamentally,
when was the Antarctic Treaty signed?
I believe
1961. So why the fuck would that matter in 1945?
You're right. Yeah. Okay. But, hey, you got me there. Whoa. I don't know. Shit. Maybe they were actually not lying.
About the atomic bomb? Yeah. I mean, you know what?
Well,
I'm happy you came to the conclusion that everyone else did 80 years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, people still live there, though.
Okay?
So.
And people put themselves in dangerous situations all the time. Like, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, people live in towns with lead poisoning. That doesn't mean lead poisoning doesn't exist.
Right, but if you live in a town with lead poisoning and nobody's experiencing symptoms of lead poisoning, how is there lead poisoning?
Are you telling me that if you live in places with... I am actually interested. Do you know if there are people experiencing birth defects or other things from living in irradiated places?
No, I don't know that.
So why did you even bring that point up if you don't know if that's true or not? Like, I could just Google it. What if I Googled right now that at a higher rate, if you live in Nagasaki or Hiroshima, you are more likely to, if you have a child, for that child to have birth defects? What would that do if I just looked this up? You don't even know. You just said it. I could just look this up right now.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, birth defects are caused by a lot of things. Like,
do you just think, just magically, just in this city, the firebombing was so stressful that years later, the birth defects are just still kicking in from the stress?
I
mean, this feels like a lot of jumps and leaps here, you know?
Well, isn't it like places that are nuclear bombs supposed to be irradiated for like thousands of years afterwards?
Or there's still, I will tell you right now, there's still irradiation present in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, yes.
Well, I mean, there's radiation present where you live too.
Well,
but
yeah,
doesn't mean that it's because of a
it's
nuclear bomb.
It's at a higher rate. I can actually, let me look this up. I'm not an expert on nuclear. Is there still radiation? I mean, this is stuff we could all just Google. Radiation at Nagasaki. Um, is there still radiation in Hiroshima and Nagasaki? The radiation in Hiroshima and Nagasaki today is on par with extremely low levels of background radiation and present anywhere on Earth. It has no effect on human bodies. Atomic bombs differ from conventional bombs in emitting explosive energy on a different order of magnitude. 5% was initial radiation, 10% was residual. The initial radiation emitted at the moment of detonation inflicted great damage to human bodies. Most of those exposed to direct radiation within a 1 kilometer radius died. Residual radiation was later emitted. Roughly 80% of all residual radiation was emitted within 24 hours. Research has indicated that 24 hours after the bombing, the quantity of residual radiation a person would receive would be 1/1000th of the quantity received immediately following the explosion. A week later, it would be 1/1,000,000th. Thus, residual radiation declined rapidly. So it seems that the radiation is just not the same as it was during the explosion.
Okay, it said that it didn't hurt anybody, pretty much.
Well, now it's basically not hurting anybody. I thought it would still, but I guess not. I don't do my daily Nagasaki research.
Right. I mean, I guess shit. That's proof right there that it's real. Look, the whole thing is.
Wait, now do you believe in Hiroshima and Nagasaki being bombed?
I'm trolling you. I'm trolling you.
Are you trolling me?
Look, the whole thing. God.
But this wouldn't be a problem for your thing then, would it? If people are living there now, it seems that the majority of the radiation was during the explosion, then it slowly dissipated.
Right. Well, it doesn't help you either, though. Like, that's just a story as to why it didn't hurt anybody. This radiation. So it doesn't actually prove. It doesn't help you.
It did, because the radiation damage, the vast majority of it was done during the initial explosion in a 24-hour period surrounding it. Right.
And heat is like radiation. So you could just say a firebomb is radiation.
No. So you're telling me that all the things that we just talked about, do we have to go back to the loss of hair? Do we have to go back to the diarrhea? Do we have to go back to all those injuries and the doctor's testimony that shows that they were distinctly different than the firebombing injuries? Unless you think the Japanese doctors and all the witnesses there were also lying. And I don't know why a people being bombed by a rival government would have interest to lie in favor of that rival government. The thing you said was the Antarctic Treaty, but that wasn't signed until 1961 anyway, so that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You want to go back to Kyle Rittenhouse, or do you want to end this?
Well, fuck. You know, Ronald Reagan went in front of like the he did like a State of the Union address, and he said basically, what lies before us is an opportunity to forge like a new world order. And he says basically we need an extraterrestrial threat to like unite the world, pretty much. Have you seen that?
No, I'm not up to date on my Ronald Reagan speech.
Right. Well,
are you talking about the Star Wars program?
What Star Wars program?
Reagan's Star Wars program?
Oh.
The lasers?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Well, basically what they're trying to do, this is why they need the heliocentric religion, because in order to fake an alien invasion, They need outer space, and they need extraterrestrials. They need extra terra in the sky. They need a sky vacuum.
They're going to fake an alien
rocks.
invasion.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
When are they going to do that?
Pretty soon. And this is what people. There's different theories to what they're gonna like. What the purpose is. Some people are saying that they're going to use hologram technology to basically cover up the real stuff that's in the sky, which isn't space, but like basically God and angels and what demons are, like angels and shit. Angels are going to come back when the world is super messed up, and they're going to use holograms to like cover it up, basically, and make people think that it's aliens.
Just say, you saying those
sounds
words
crazy, I know.
Got me the closest in my life to ever being an atheist.
What do you mean?
That you saying those words and invoking God and angels in that way made me almost feel disgusted by my own religion.
Are you a Christian?
Yes.
So you believe in God?
Yes.
Why?
I don't really want to get into it.
Okay. I mean, the reason why I believe in God is because of the second law of thermodynamics, which is basically just saying like if you take like a glass cup and like smash it on the ground, those bits of glass will never like reform back into the glass the way it was before you broke it in nature on their own. They'll never do that. So if you crash your car will never fix itself by itself in nature. So what this means is, in order for you to have a body and like this complex system of your body and all this stuff, that can't just come about in nature on its own. You can't even get a glass cup in nature on its own. So in order for you to have a body, it must have been created. That's the only way it could exist. Intervention is the only way.
Okay.
So yeah, and the second law also debunks the vacuum of space. But look, flat Earth really exposes people. I want to say this too. People's reactions to flat Earth is basically like you can see who a person really is. You can see if they're a lying psychopath. You can see if they're like a government shill, basically. Like Alex Jones, for example, right? Alex Jones usually dominates every conspiracy conversation he's in. The only time I've seen him like ever, I've listened to a lot of Alex Jones. I mean, kind of a lot. But the only time I've ever seen him flounder like and look like a complete idiot, like weird, like even people who don't even like Alex Jones and think he's like a dumbass would be like, "What the hell?" But is when Eddie Bravo and Sam Tripoli brought up flat Earth to him.
Yeah, I watched
and he started saying,
and
you watched that?
Yeah, I did watch that.
Yeah. And it's weird because he starts saying like weird shit, like shit that he would never say. Like he's like, no, but the lights in the sky. He's like ignoring information and like
he's talking. I watched that, and I'm telling you right now, I came away with from that with a completely different conclusion and I would ask you about how it feels that Alex Jones, which I would say the vast majority of people already view as a crazy psychopath piece of shit, and I'm one of those people because of his views on Sandy Hook. I think he's a rat bastard.
Yeah, me too, but for a different reason.
Well, yeah. He like, even doesn't believe the bullshit that you're spitting right
now. Exactly. This is the whole point. People hate Alex Jones, even though, you know, a lot of what he says is true, but this is what liars do. Like a good liar will tell you the truth in the pursuit of dishonesty. That's like what good liars do. They mix truth in with lies. So what Alex Jones is doing basically is he's telling you some real shit to distract off of the realist shit, which is flat Earth. Which is why it's... I mean, look.
Do you have any evidence of this?
Of what?
Or was just more speculation, like Kyle Rittenhouse dead child Sandy Hook shooting?
Sure, I have. Well, Alex Jones and Joe Rogan and Eddie Bravo. You know that podcast they did.
I saw it. It was fine. It was funny.
Well, they did too. But basically, like I have clips of and Eddie Bravo is like basically Joe Rogan's one of his best friends. He's been with him like way before he was like really famous and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And the reason why Joe had Eddie Bravo on with the Alex Jones thing is because Eddie Bravo's a super conspiracy theorist too. And he's like a better conspiracy theorist, in my opinion. He's a flat earther. But what happened was Eddie Bravo brings up flat Earth to Joe Rogan on several occasions. And what Joe does, and by the way, Joe Rogan has done a show before. I forget what it was called, but it was like looking into Bigfoot and on, like aliens and shit. And there's a clip where he literally says, "Hey CIA, I'm available. If you guys show me the real stuff, I'll lie to my mother. I'll make fun of that crap till the end of time." He basically says, "Hey government, come show me some stuff, and then I'll lie for whatever." But Eddie Bravo, he brings up some basic ass shit to him. He brings up, this is what he said. I can literally post the clip. He goes, Eddie Bravo was like, based on the size of the Earth, there's a certain rate of curvature. And there should be 6,000 feet of curvature, 6,000 feet of drop for 100 miles in the ocean. Yeah.
Are you studying in science?
Like,
do you have a degree?
A little. Or... More than... Oh, no. I don't have a degree.
In, like, science or space or anything?
Well, you can't have a degree in... Like, astrophysics is actually pseudoscience because it's an oxymoron, because space doesn't exist and physics debunks space. So saying astrophysics is actually like an oxymoron.
And what gives you the authority to say that?
Because outer space is a violation of the second law of thermodynamics and the physics of a gas molecule. The physics of a gas molecule.
You didn't answer my question.
Space.
What I'm asking is, like, I know there's, like, I can't go back and forth with you with flat Earth shit because I don't care about flat Earth shit. I just view you all as crazy people, if I'm being completely honest, right? That's why I was much more interested in the Kyle Rittenhouse stuff, because I do know about that, and that's why, like, I felt like since I knew about it, like, most of it ended up, like, everything you showed me just looked like bullshit to me. And we got through that really quick, and that's why we pivoted to this discussion, because I don't feel like you have anything on Kyle Rittenhouse. And so, what I'm trying to say to you is, I don't think you have. I mean, I'm saying that I think that you don't have any authority to speak on this, and you're playing like armchair scientist. Right? And I feel like you're basically taking a bunch of terms that you've heard and you're badly like trying to like state them back, like about the second law of thermodynamics states this, and like then you're like badly interpreting.
I could just explain it to you. It's pretty. It's pretty simple. It's not like complex.
You've explained it like 5 times.
Well, like twice.
Okay,
but I mean,
I don't need a third time.
Okay. Yeah, but flat Earth isn't like something crazy or whatever. It's just basic 3rd grade geometry. Like, we're just talking about a 3rd grade geometry problem.
This isn't shit. I never learned this in 3rd grade, man.
So you never learned shapes before? Like, you can't.
I learned shapes. Yes.
Okay, so in order to verify if the surface of Earth is curving or not, pretty simple. You measure the surface of Earth. So
you want to talk about water? Like, I'm telling you right now. You could. You are doing the mental equivalent right now of eating Play-Doh in front of me, and I'm not interested in it unless we're going to talk about Kyle Rittenhouse or something that I care about.
Okay, but this is referring back to the Joe Rogan is a shill thing that I was about to say, and Alex Jones.
Okay, explain to me how they're shills.
Okay. So again, this is what Eddie Bravo said. He just brought up a simple. This is literally like fucking basic ass geometry. If the ground isn't curving away, like large bodies of water, like the ocean isn't curving away at the rate that they say, then it's flat. It's just pretty simple. So this is what Eddie Bravo says to Joe Rogan. He's like, there's a certain rate of curvature in the ocean.
You know what I feel like it's going to be? I feel like you're not going to show me that Joe Rogan or Alex Jones is shill. You're going to either show me Alex Jones either A, making a joke, or B, responding in a way that you think was poorly educated or wrong, and therefore they're a shill. Do you have any actual evidence of them being shills? Right,
but this is what Alex Jones even said.
Answer my question. Do you have any
I can show you the clip.
actual evidence?
The clips right now.
Okay, so there's clips of him saying, yes, I work for the CIA. Here's all the documents to prove it. Like, that's a crazy clip. I'd like to see that.
I mean, there's something close to that if you want. But
okay, let me see it.
Okay. I'm getting the clip right now. But even Alex Jones would say, like, he gets pissed off at Joe Rogan because he's like Joe Rogan plays dumb, and then he's like, you know all this stuff, and you're just playing dumb. Like, Alex Jones even said that to him like several times. All right. Oh, I just posted posted a YouTube video. So the thing is, it's pretty obvious.
Let me play this. Okay.
Yeah.
interview Walter Haut on tape. They get him to admit not only was there a real crash at Roswell, he saw the actual craft.
Wait, do you believe in aliens?
Oh, my bad. I posted the wrong thing. You mean like what kind?
Like aliens from space. Space aliens.
Well, space doesn't exist.
Exactly,
so
that's
no.
why I'm asking you, because right now this guy's talking about Roswell, which I assume you believe that's bullshit.
Yeah.
On an Army flatbed under
That's the thing. The government basically plants like alien evidence. This is what
You think they
Bill
plant
Cooper said.
Dude, the thing for aliens, it's so fucking like obvious what it actually is. I am somewhat conspiratorial when it comes to this, but only in the way that I think it's probably in most of these incidents when it comes about Area 51, which just so happens to be like a government like military like testing area. Like it's probably that there's American military technology that they're testing out in the skies, and Americans see that shit and they're like, "Oh my god, what the fuck is that? I don't know what that is." And then people think it's UFOs and aliens when really it's just American military technology.
You're right.
Or spy technology. I think that's what the vast majority of this shit is. I don't think they're planting evidence. I think that's I think that's an easier explanation.
You are correct. Yes, that's what they're doing. But
no, the fact that you
Bill
agree
Cooper,
with me now makes me question that.
Well, that's
that
what
conclusion.
it is. I mean, they just have advanced technology. Like Bob Lazar, when Bob Lazar's like, he went and he said he saw some zero gravity technology. It's that's just some advanced shit the government has.
Can I play this thing to show that Joe Rogan's a CIA asset?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not going to prove it's you, but yeah.
Okay.
I understand. I gotta stop. Okay, I asked you for evidence.
This is evidence.
A guy saying something is not real evidence.
Sure it is.
No, it's not. You're telling me stories. Stories suck. They're great for campfires. But as far as evidence, they're not real.
Look,
Joe Rogan's really based here, by the way. I just want to say that.
Skeptical than you because
I'm just... how dare you?
Why?
Look me right in the eye and say you're a UFO skeptic.
I am a UFO skeptic, not a debunker.
I would love it if there was a UFO that I could see and touch.
You can on film.
No,
they're all over the place.
You can't touch anything on film.
You could touch it with your eyes. That's touching. You can't cover this thing up because a lot of people are seeing UFOs and they're seeing them all over the world, right? But they figured out something even more brilliant. They said, what's the best way to hide something? Best way. Hide it in plain sight. Tell people it's something else and they'll just overlook it. Step two, if somebody reputable starts talking about UFOs, you can co-opt the person and say, hey,
my chat, you better stop touching me with your eyes, okay? No, I didn't consent to this, okay? It's Valentine's Day. Keep it to yourself.
You want to know UFOs? We'll show you the real deal. But not only can you never talk about it publicly, you have to be a debunker publicly.
I'll tell the government right now, tell you right now if you're listening, NSA, CIA, I'm available, okay? If you show me all the real wreckage, I swear to God, I will make fun of that crap to the end of time. I'll make up stories. I'll lie to my mother. I don't care.
Okay, so this is supposed to prove that he's a CIA asset?
Well, I posted another
because you want to know what that
was?
It was called a joke.
Right.
Because I'll look into the stream and I'll be like, hey, CIA, I'm waiting for a job. I do that all the time.
Well, they wouldn't hit
I did that. I did that to Bad Up and Out of the other day because he said Dylan just lies about. Dylan gets his talking points out of bullshit. I say no, I get mine from Virginia, the CIA headquarters. Like I do that all the time.
Right. Well, I mean, they don't hit up people who are like low level just because they ask.
Okay, but by the way, why would Joe Rogan do this publicly? If he wanted to do it, why didn't he just touch any of these Hollywood connects or do it privately? Why would he ask publicly for the CIA to do that if he actually wanted the CIA connect? And why would the CIA follow through with that connection, knowing that he said publicly, hey, CIA, please tell me all the secrets? It doesn't make sense because then people like you can then dredge this shit out and be like, oh, look, Joe Rogan, he's suspicious. He asked for it publicly. It feels like they would much rather go to people who haven't asked for it publicly because then there would be no suspicion. The fact that you have suspicion of it in the first place because of this clip shows that he'd be a terrible candidate for these lies.
Well, it's not specifically that clip, but the thing with Joe Rogan is he's so famous and like huge, and he's so like influential that he doesn't say things that he knows are real because he knows like it's going to be a problem. Like me,
he has said
I
so
could
much.
say, you know,
He has said time and time again bullshit about the vaccines, right? He said a lot of bullshit about vaccines, right?
okay, but not
And-
that. I'm talking about like other stuff. He covered like the moon landings. He actually changed his position on moon landings. He used to be like a crusader, saying the moon landings were fake. Second, he like started getting famous. He had Neil deGrasse Tyson on, which.
So what
you
you're
know.
saying is he had somebody educated on these subjects come on, talk to him, and then he changed his mind after looking at new evidence.
So educated, like you think Neil deGrasse Tyson is look.
I
Joe Rogan scheduled a debate.
I think he's smarter than both you and me when it comes to this stuff.
I
Neither
think
of us
he's
have
dumber
degrees.
than both of us. I think he's dumber than both of us.
I think you're 100% wrong. He's educated
okay.
on the subject. He actually has a degree, which both of us
Well, he
lack.
says that the Earth rotates underneath footballs, like when a team kicks a field goal in football. So is that smart?
Okay.
He literally says that.
I don't care. I like none of this.
Right. Well, the thing
What?
is with Neil deGrasse is super interesting to look at because Joe Rogan's scheduled a debate with Eric Dubay. Eric Dubay is like a flat earther. He's like one of the main flat earthers. Who was like waking people up like a long time ago. He scheduled a debate on the JRE with Neil deGrasse Tyson and Eric Dubay, and they scheduled it and everything.
You want to know what? I think you're a CIA asset, actually.
Okay, but guess what happened?
No, look, you're about to say something that I don't care about. Can I explain how you're a CIA asset?
Right.
Okay. Because you keep doing that, like you just keep going on tangents, right? Where we're on an area, and then you'll kind of like spread into this new area before we address everything here. Okay, and we gotta close this down because we've been talking for almost an hour and a half now, right?
Yeah.
Which is already a half an hour more than I intended to give this discussion. I might bring you on again in the future, but if we do, you gotta promise to me we're gonna stay on one topic because we've touched so much.
All right, but
okay,
just tell me beforehand what topic because I didn't know you wanted to do the Rittenhouse thing.
Okay, I'll do that next time.
But can I just say what I was about to say, please? It's like 5 seconds, please.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, so Joe Rogan scheduled a debate with Eric Dubay and Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson pulled out, and Eric Dubay was like, "What's going on?" Okay, that's it.
Okay, so is Eric Dubay someone I would consider a conspiracy theorist?
Yes.
Okay, I assume that there was a few motivations as to why Neil deGrasse Tyson was pulled out. I could do scheduling conflicts, anything like that, but one of the biggest is something that I have to deal with. Is there is on one hand, you can go and debate somebody, debunk their points, but on another hand, if they're a lot smaller than you, all you're going to really do, if you ever fuck up in any way, or even if you debate them and you perform quite well, but they perform okay on a few points, is you're going to give them an audience to a bigger amount of people. And I think it would be perfectly rational if Neil deGrasse Tyson looked at this guy and said, hey, look, I am, in America, probably the face of science to many people, right? Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye are probably like the two, like, most PR-friendly faces of science, right?
Correct.
Bill Nye also came to my middle school. Lovely man.
And they both have TV shows.
And so if for him to debate these people, he's giving them a platform to continue to spread their bullshit. So even if he does well, he's bringing these conspiracy theorists to a higher level than they were before. And so it makes sense that he wouldn't want to do that. And it doesn't, and like, by the way, if your thing is he didn't do it because he was wrong and he knew he'd get exposed, why would he agree to it in the first place if that's the case?
Right. That's a good point. But I mean, it's just weird, like, because when you look at Neil deGrasse Tyson, like what he's done before in his career and stuff, well, like what he loves to do is basically like call out bullshit science. Like he's done that several times with different things. He loves to like basically dunk on people. So it's like, why would he not want to just fucking obliterate some flat earther like in front of the world? Like that would be hilarious.
Because you can attack a point without debating somebody. Because let's say I stand here and I say, this is why points XYZ about abortion is wrong, is different from me bringing on another content creator who believes abortion is like the good thing. And I'm saying that I believe abortion's like morally like neutral. I don't care. But let's say that I'm somebody who's against abortion, right? And I say to my audience, here's why abortion's wrong. Point 1, point 2, point 3. That's different than me bringing on somebody else and debating them, because if they're smaller than me, then they grow. And with them growing, so does the cause of people, so does their cause, because whatever.
Well, not if he just destroys him, because it should be easy to destroy a flat earther.
No, I mean, it's not that simple to destroy conspiracy theorists. And it's not that difficult to destroy somebody who lies in a debate or says bullshit in a debate. Okay. Because if somebody dedicates their life to lying about something, they have to get pretty fucking good at it, right?
Yeah. That's pretty much like what really high level actors do. Like they know like mannerisms of people, and like they know like what people look like when they're lying and all this stuff. But I want to say one thing. There's a Discord server called 24/7 Flat Earth.
No. You gotta get to this last thing, okay? You gotta listen to this last thing I'm saying, okay? Before we do all this cutout, okay? I think it's more likely, and this, you want to hear my conspiracy theory, what I believe?
Yeah, I actually do.
That there is probably, I would say this is like 5% likely in my head, okay? That the government makes up conspiracy theories like flat Earth, like this Kyle Rittenhouse, whatever the fuck, Sandy Hook, all of this. They make up this shit somewhere, and then they spread it on either 4chan, they spread it like people like maybe Alex Jones or some fucking conspiracy theory, and they pump it, enough for it to be like in the like crack nooks and crannies of society. And the reason they do this is so that people who are conspiratorial in nature and could look at maybe the Vietnam War and how that started, or other actual real life conspiracies like Martin Luther King and the FBI, and instead of concentrating on those conspiracies and trying to bring attention to real life conspiracies that happened where the government mistreated us, or like the murder of Fred Hampton, they instead concentrate on fairy tale nonsense like the earth is flat. That's what I believe. A 5% likelihood. That's like my 5% likelihood conspiracy theory.
That's a good point. People like, I know flat earthers who literally say it, like flat earthers. Well, Eddie Bravo one specifically, he used to say that exact thing. He used to say, flat Earth is a distraction to cover up these real conspiracy theories. Mm-hmm. But now he's like, no, the other ones are a distraction to cover up flat Earth.
Yeah, the CIA got him.
No, it's actually flat. Like I know you don't want to get into it and whatever, but there's a Discord. This is what I was about to bring up. There's a Discord called 24/7 Flat Earth, and they live stream the BC 24/7 on YouTube. And a bunch of flat earthers, they basically have globe earthers come in whenever they want and come in and try to prove the Earth is a globe. If anybody proves the Earth is a globe, they will shut the server down. And they've been streaming live for like years, like 6 years or something.
So the problem is there's no standard of evidence that anyone could ever provide that would ever convince these people, because they've dedicated themselves to this thing, right?
No, the people who
make money, so much money off this bullshit too. People make so much money off this. Yes, they do. People make a lot of money off of flat Earth bullshit. There's a whole flat Earth convention. People sell books. People make fucking music. There's flat Earth songs. People 100% make a lot of money off of this shit. Are you kidding me? Alex Jones, another conspiracy theorist, is mega rich. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Wait, I mean, people used to, like what you're saying is true. People used to make money off flat Earth, but now
they still do.
It's heavily demonetized and heavily censored. So if you go to YouTube and type in flat Earth, you will get Professor Dave debunking flat Earth. You will get flat Earth debunked. You will get, you don't get any of the flat Earth side. You just get the debunkers who are addressing straw mans.
It's probably because it's funny to dunk on flat Earthers.
Well, they don't actually address any of the real arguments. They just address a straw man. And then, like fight it, like battle a straw man. Like, Flat Earth Society, for example, is like there's something called Flat Earth Society, and
they have members all around the globe.
Exactly, Flat Earth Society is fake. Like, there's no real flat earthers in Flat Earth Society. It's controlled opposition.
It's controlled.
So they say dumb shit. Yeah, they say dumb shit on purpose.
Do you have any evidence that it's controlled opposition, like any documents or like statements?
Well, the evidence is that I know not thousands. I know hundreds of flat earthers.
Around the globe?
About flat Earth pretty much every day.
Around the globe?
Well, No, on flat Earth, but
gotcha.
I know hundreds of flat earthers, and not a single one of them makes a single claim that the Flat Earth Society makes. Flat Earth Society. There's a clip of Brian Cox.
That's not evidence. That's just
It is.
personal.
It
That's
is,
personal anecdote. Okay. So
well,
like
here's the
let's say we brought back the I fucked your mom thing. What if I just told you I know hundreds of people that saw me fuck your mom?
I mean, that's just consensus.
Okay,
And you're saying that.
Can I get one of the witnesses that saw me fuck Travis's mom, get in my call in so I can bring them in to like show some witnesses here?
This is cap.
What do you mean this is cap? What do you mean? Like somebody get in the waiting room so I can drag them in. Stream waiting room. My Discord.
Well, look. There's a clip of Brian Cox addressing flat Earth. He's like, the flat earthers, they make an interesting claim. They say that the ground is actually accelerating upward, and this is what creates gravity. Now, I've been a flat earther for years. I know tons of flat earthers. Seen tons of flat Earth videos. Not a single one. Not one person. Not one single real flat earther says that. Not one.
Okay. So I've got
they
two,
say
wait,
shit that
I've
real
got
flat
two.
earthers
I've got witnesses here. Okay. Party on Darth. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Did you see what I'm alleging?
Yeah.
You saw it
multiple times.
Multiple times. This was located in California, of course, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Okay.
This is cap.
Okay. 1 second. We got more. Dustin.
Wait, how is this cap? I saw that.
Yeah. Fuck Valentine saw it too. Dustin, did you see this as well?
Yeah, it was quite disturbing.
Wow. My goodness. The consensus is building.
That was like a lot to see one person take.
Well, you're talking about consensus, but you're just like the Flat Earth Society versus Flat Earth is just.
Well, no, you just talked. So I'm saying, So if your evidence is consensus, this is also my evidence.
No. The evidence is like I'm saying that the Flat Earth Society, they aren't real flat earthers. I know real flat earthers. So
how do you know they're not real flat earthers?
Because they just say bullshit. Like when you actually look at the claims, like what real flat earthers say is like, okay, I take a laser beam 3 feet above sea level, shoot it 20 miles away, and it hits a target 3 feet above sea level. So there's a level laser for 20 miles over a body of water.
Mm-hmm.
Flat Earth Society doesn't say that. They say we have members all over the globe, and we're flat Earth, and blah blah blah.
Wait, is that? I feel like you're strawmanning the Flat Earth Society here. I'm gonna be honest. Do you think is that what they always?
They would enjoy that because they're shills, so it doesn't matter.
Well, but you're saying that with no evidence. The only evidence you've really provided me is none of my Flat Earth friends say the arguments the Flat Earth Society do, right? Which, if that's your evidence, then my evidence for banging your mom is the witnesses I have in this call with me now.
No. Okay, so Flat Earth Society, what they say, one thing they say is that the ground is accelerating upward. This is what creates gravity. So,
well, they're correct.
Where's the evidence for that?
They said so.
Right. So where's the evidence for that?
Well, my claim is that I accelerated as I continued to go in and out of your mom.
She threw that ass in a circle.
And that is evidence right there.
Like the globe.
Okay. Well, I just sent the. Oh wait.
I'm sorry. Okay. So I know the joke's a little crude. Okay, I have to kick you all out. I'm sorry. Okay. Look, I know the joke's crude, but the reason I keep bringing this up is that it seems like most of the stuff you're telling me you don't have like actual like real evidence for, and it feels like it's all like just speculation, or it's like things that you can loosely connect together, right?
Well, what you're saying is like the whole point. There isn't evidence for it. Like Flat Earth Society, all the claims they make, there's no evidence for that. That's like the whole point.
No,
all the stuff real Flat Earthers say, there's literally like tons of evidence.
Couldn't I just say then, like, I think that you're controlled opposition because the arguments you put forward to me today about Kyle Rittenhouse was complete garbage because it was like him putting his hand in his coat pocket or any of these other things?
Okay, but
then you're controlled opposition.
What would be the purpose of that?
What would be the purpose of me saying you're controlled opposition on the Kyle Rittenhouse?
No, what would be the purpose of me like saying that he's like
the same thing
Freemason liar?
Same thing I said earlier. It's the government trying to distract us with bullshit conspiracy theories, so ignore the real ones that are proven, like the Fred Hampton stuff.
Right.
See,
But
I can
my whole
create
point,
motivations
this
out
whole
of thin air.
conversation. Well, my whole point with this whole, like, early in this conversation, I was trying to bring it to the realist conspiracy theory and talk about that. But, well, it's not really a theory. It's just, but you didn't want to talk about that. So, I mean, it's kind of like disingenuous to like try to say like people are being dishonest when I'm trying to tell you about the realist thing, but you don't want to talk about it.
That I don't want to talk about flat Earth. I mean, it feels like
right. So how can you say that flat Earth is bullshit when you don't even know what we say? Like you don't even know the arguments or anything.
The same reason why if somebody like tells me that like if something is widely established fact, right? Widely established fact, and someone comes in here and challenges widely established fact, and then I'm like, wow, that's a huge claim, and then you just say, and I'm like, okay, how should I respect this person's claim? And I'm like, okay, this person isn't really a scientific authority. He's not studied on the issue. And he, in my chat, seems to be telling me that he's just kind of misquoting a bunch of scientific mumbo jumbo. And this isn't even something I wanted to even talk about. And so why should I really listen or respect what you're saying right
now? Well, you kind of like misconstrued, like what you just said was actually not, like when you go outside, right? Do you experience a flat, stationary Earth, or do you experience a globe? Which one?
What?
What do you experience when you go outside?
Do I, like, you're asking me if I'm standing on like a circle or like how do you experience? Let me ask you a question. Like, how would you experience a globe? What do you even mean by that?
Exactly. The whole point is that the claim isn't flat Earth. The claim is the globe. All you experience is a flat stationary Earth, but the globe is the claim, which there's zero evidence of and has been thoroughly destroyed.
Get off to this. Because I'm like, I've told you time and time again, I don't give a fuck about the flat Earth.
Yeah, you don't want to. Okay. But again, so don't try to bring up people are shills or people are this when you don't want to talk about it.
Wait.
Like you can't do that.
I can't bring up. What do you mean?
No, well, you can't say like I could just say you're a shill, and when you don't actually want to talk about the real subject.
I could 100% talk. Well, the thing is,
you could just say anything.
I said that about the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. I didn't say that about the flat Earth shit. The thing is, it feels like the flat Earth shit is a conspiracy you really want to talk about because you know I don't know much about it. But I do know a lot about the Kyle Rittenhouse, or at least I was able to go through that, and it seemed to be mostly bullshit. And we pivoted to nukes, and it seems like that mostly was bullshit too. And now we're back to flat Earth because this is the one thing I don't really know a lot about or really anything about. And so this is the thing you're staying on because everything else is you just like fucking like crumbled in like 20 minutes. Do you see the problem where I'm standing here? Because if I was to sit down with somebody and debate them and like I want to debate you on this thing, and I just kept pivoting until I found something I knew nothing about, and then that was the one thing I concentrated on, it's like very clear what I'm trying to do there. And that's what you're doing right now.
Well,
like why debate me on flat Earth? I don't give a fuck about flat Earth. I know nothing about flat Earth. I know nothing about the globe, and yet you're determined to debate me on this when I wanted to debate you on the other conspiracy theories, which you had nothing to back up your claims for.
Well, I mean,
like, did you just think this was gonna be like a giant flat Earth discussion? Is that why you were so prepared for this, and that's why you want to get your shit in?
Is that why what?
Did you research a bunch of flat Earth shit for this discussion, and that's why you want to talk about flat Earth? Okay.
I don't do.
So why the fuck are we still talking about flat Earth? Why? I've told you I don't care.
Yeah, you're saying that I'm like trying to find something that you don't know about and all this stuff, but I already know that you don't know anything about it. Like I know every glober in your Twitch chat, every person who thinks the Earth is globe doesn't know the most fundamental claims. They don't know anything about it. They don't know anything about their own belief of the globe Earth, let alone what flat earthers say. So I already know that you don't know anything about it, and that's kind of the whole point. It's like you don't even understand your religious belief. You need a flat earther to educate you on your religious belief and then destroy it. Like I would literally need to tell you what the globe claims so that you could go out in reality and see that it doesn't.
Let's say that you were actually right, which you aren't. But let's say you were. You sound like an edgy atheist Reddit bro. Like you just like somebody's like, hey, I want to talk about this completely separate thing, and you're like, no, I want to tell you why God's fake. That's what you sound like right now.
Okay. I mean, you don't want to talk about flat Earth. I get it, but again, it's kind of hard to determine who's a shill. And like I'm telling you right now, flat Earth is the biggest exposer of everything that's happening in the world. So if you want to understand everything, you really like. I'm telling you, like flat Earth makes it so much easier to understand everything.
No, it doesn't. I'm telling you right now, flat Earth and Kyle Rittenhouse,
okay, listen, hold on.
Has no connection. It has no fucking connection. And there's nothing you can tell me that it doesn't. It doesn't.
You don't see the connection.
There is no connection between flat Earth and Kyle Rittenhouse. Okay, you're just insane.
No. If
you cannot tell me how the Kyle Rittenhouse thing is fake without the flat Earth shit, then I'm sorry. I feel like you're just bullshitting me.
Right. Well, I mean, fuck. You should have told me that you wanted to talk about Rittenhouse because I thought we were just going to talk about like conspiracy theories in general.
Well, yeah. We talked about that. We talked about the nuclear stuff and all that fell apart. And so it feels like all that's left is like the flat Earth. And that seems to be your primary, like your gimmick. But I'm super interested in the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, right?
Okay, right.
Anyway,
I'm trying to.
You can.
Yeah.
We should.
I could have had all
we
the
need,
clips
we need
and
to. We need to wrap this up. We've been talking for
Right.
almost 2 hours. I'm not entertaining this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, there's a just one thing. The clip of Rittenhouse on Tucker Carlson.
Yep.
Like I could have had all these clips.
Yeah. Throw it. You can throw that to me right now if you want.
Well, I don't have it right now. That's what I'm saying. Like I could have had all these clips, like the.
We can look it up right now. Kyle Rittenhouse, Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, but I don't know like where it is specifically because it's gonna be like it's like a long interview. So.
Okay, can you just like tell me what happened?
Yeah.
Like, what did he say? What did he say? I can just open by transcript and search it.
I forget what he's saying, but it's just the way that he like. It's like he got his like. It's literally like an actor getting the script wrong, and then they like have to go back and then like say it again. But again, like it's just me describing it. You would have to see it to actually be like, what the hell? But
okay.
Right. But with the flat Earth thing, I've debated flat Earth literally every day for like years. I know everything about the globe Earth and flat Earth.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you it's flat. Like I literally know everything about it.
Okay. So you debated on the internet flat Earth. Therefore, you know everything about it. And therefore, I should trust you over all the scientific professionals who actually have dedicated their life to studying.
Kat supposedly works for NASA, and she's 0-2 against the flat Earther.
Kat doesn't work for NASA. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, she said she worked for on the Mars rover, when I talked to her like a year ago.
I think you might be misremembering something.
No, I think she said she did like calculations for the Mars rover.
I'm gonna message Kat and ask, but I don't believe she did calculations. I'll ask her. I am not familiar. I don't ask her much about her work. Did you do calculations for the Mars rover? Also, how you it doesn't matter. Everybody thinks they want a debate.
Right. Well,
anyway,
I've debated literally like tons of people, like PhDs, physicists,
good for you.
like and I've never even conceded like a single argument, or because I just.
Do you want me to blow you?
Do what?
Like, do you want what reward do you want?
Well, I'm just telling you because I know you think it's bullshit, but it's not, and that's what I'm telling you. So it's the same thing as.
I don't care if you've debated a lot of people.
Okay. But you don't care about the evidence either, though. So.
Well, I've already told you I don't care about this topic.
Right, but why do you not care about
you're bragging to me about something I don't care about. I don't care because why the fuck do I care about space? Right?
So you don't care about what the Earth is, like where we are?
No.
Oh, okay. So it could just be like anything to you? Or
I don't care because it's just not my field.
Well, it doesn't. It's everyone learns it, so I mean, it's not really. It doesn't have to be your field. Like children learn it. So
What do you think about refrigerator cooling systems?
I don't know.
Do you care about them?
Not particularly, but
yeah,
it doesn't have
that's
to do
how I
with
think.
our
That's how I think
position
of
in the
space.
universe.
That's how I think about space. Okay, I mean it's cool.
Oh.
It's there. I'm happy refrigerator cooling systems exist. I'm happy space is there. But if you were to come to me, if I was to come to you and I said refrigerator cooling systems are part of a deep state plot to molest children across the globe, and you're just like, okay, you just sound like crazy to me, right?
I mean, that's not what I'm saying, though. It's kind of like a, kind of a bad equivalence, but
it's not. It's not what you're. I'm sorry. This is how people view. Look, I've already told you I don't care about this, and I don't care if you debated a lot.
This is what I'm trying to ask you. I'm trying to ask you, why do you not care about?
You are wasting my time.
I just want to know what. I just want to know.
You are wasting my time.
Okay, but I just want to know, like, why do
I
you
don't
not
care
about...
what you want to know.
Okay. So you don't care about
no
the universe,
whatever
you
about
care
to say. I don't care.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
I don't care. Yes, I do care about Kyle Rittenhouse because that concerns my work.
Okay. So
look, I could be fucking your mom right now, and instead I'm doing this, and that's what's annoying me.
all right.
Okay. You happy? We're all good? So we're going on 2 hours, man. We gotta wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay. You have a good one.
Well, okay. Can I just Can I say one last thing?
No.
Okay.
Okay, we're done. I'm sorry. It's like, what the? Jesus, 2 hours, man. Holy shit. Oh my god. Look, I wanted to talk about these other things. I don't care about this one thing. Holy shit. Two hours. Why are you talking to him if you don't care what he thinks? I care what he thinks about certain things. I don't care what he thinks about all things. Let's say I got Tucker Carlson on the show, okay? If I got Tucker Carlson on the show, I don't care what he thinks about fucking Pokemon cards, okay? I'm gonna ask him questions about politics. If I bring somebody on to talk about conspiracy theories, I'm gonna talk about conspiracy theories I care about. I'm not gonna talk about conspiracy theories I don't give a fuck about and I think is too stupid to entertain. Jesus Christ. Hey, Geek, how's it going?
Why don't you want to talk about Flat Earth?
Geek, no. Geek, no. Not you, too.
You don't want to admit the truth? Is that it?
Yeah, I was paid off.
Listen, I think this was a helpful debate. I learned plenty. I learned that pizza are dangerous, chips are dangerous, magnets are black holes.
What did you think about the debate, actually, Geek?
Okay, first of all, I'm super frustrated at you. I sent you, like, when you were talking about radiation, like, due to Hiroshima, there's literally a name for this.
Yeah,
I sent you the link and everything.
It wouldn't have changed the fundamentals of the debate if I used the name, though.
Not really the name, but like you can see, like they literally like show the specific of the shit. Like,
yeah, I know what you're talking about. But I most of it I can't even show, right?
Yeah.
I that's why I described most of it. What a debate.
But yeah, as far as I think you were right to not address the flat Earth. This is a deep, like, this is endless. You know, there's nothing to do with that.
I don't care about it. It's just a conspiracy theory that I find funny. But it's like, besides that, it's like, it's just, to me, it's just a meme. That's why I wanted to talk about the Kyle Rittenhouse, because that's a conspiracy theory I haven't heard before. That's why it was interesting to me.
Do you know that I hold my hand like this? And I started to quit.
I do that too. I do that too. I do the whole thing, and I feel like I'm like, ooh, secret agent man. Anytime I do it. Hey, Kyo, how's it going? Kyosan, how's it going?
That was something.
Did you watch it?
I caught the last like half hour of it after getting home and like scrubbing up and stuff. Look, all I'm saying is you can ask me anything about cooking potatoes. I've been debating cooking to potatoes for several years now. I'm the culinary expert. of cooking potatoes. Okay.
So ships are dangerous.
Dude, I feel like what are we even gonna upload to YouTube out of that geek? Do we just edit the Kara Rittenhouse parts and the Nagasaki parts and edit out all the flat Earth bullshit because I just don't care, or do we keep all of it?
Nah, I will do a mix basically.
I gotta
like
stop.
Making
I
sure.
gotta stop telling people I fuck their mom. I'm gonna be honest.
Yes.
It's a bad
Yes.
meme. I gotta stop.
Yes, and bringing witnesses and shit like this. That was like overpiling. But listen, that was funny, and he was insisting to talk about something. Some dumb shit.
I was trying to get him to leave because I was like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's a bad meme. It's a bad meme because it's bullying, unironically bullying. But the point was like, basically, he's telling me to disprove it. So then you have to disprove that I fucked your mom. If you're telling me to disprove like conspiracy theories, you got to disprove mine, right? Whatever.